The Goat House is back. So you guys know I already graded all 32 NFL teams' draft classes. What I didn't do was compare each teams to see who actually won the draft. So I went ahead and did that, and there are 5 teams. Clear cut. Have the best draft. These 5 teams stand out, and we're going to rank them from 5 to 1. These teams won the draft. The 5th best draft class of 2025, the Carolina Panthers, a top 5 home run draft. They absolutely killed it. And what stands out most to me, because obviously I make my board, I grade all these players before the draft for everyone to see. And according to my board, pre-draft, and according to their draft, they had 0 reaches. 0. Not even close to a reach on this draft. So that's a start. They also got a shit ton better. They filled a lot of needs. They got really good players, really good fits. I mean, start with Ted McMillan. There's a great fit for Bryce Young, what he's been missing. Dave Canales trying to find his Mike Evans. I haven't loved that comparison of for McMillan, Mike Evans, but you understand it. You know, big body, contested catch guy. I like the Michael Thomas comparison. Either way, it's fantastic for that offense. It's exactly what they needed. I didn't want them to rely, because Coker looked pretty sneaky good last year. But if you rely on that guy that wasn't supposed to be that good to continue to get better, history shows maybe that doesn't really work out, even though I think he's a solid player. So they didn't rely on their guys from last year. I think Ted McMillan and Thielen will be the guys leading this team in snaps. I love that. Don't be afraid to go get better. And they did that. But at this point, it's like, damn, they so badly need an edge rusher. You know, there was a lot of talk about them taking Jalen Walker, the first pick. I thought they've been a little early, you know, for kind of a gadget-type defense, you know, a Swiss Army knife. It doesn't work for everyone's defense. But they go and get Nick Scorton in the second round. He has the ability to play up or down, which the Panthers will like. He's an every down pass rusher because he stops the run. He can win against the pass and the run with his physicality, but he can win with these, you know, pretty athletic for his size. He cuts some weight as well. He's got a nasty spin move. So they go get him. Could be a starting pass rusher. Princely Umanmielen, doesn't have the upside that Scorton has. Well, I will say, if Umanmielen could start to, you know, add a little bit more power, by his body type, he looks like he has some power to him, like the frame he holds that he has. But if he can learn to win with a bull rush, win with a little more power, and yeah, he's got some freaky upside, but you could argue maybe he's a little more pro ready. He could start. The way he played against Georgia, maybe the best competition he played, I mean, insane. He was purely dominant in that game. So they got their pass rushers. Would you rather have Jalen Walker and no Ted McMillan, or would you rather have Ted McMillan and 2 pass rushers that could possibly start? I mean, you take it this way. You go this route. Then you go Trevor Etienne. Did you really need a running back? Not really, but they like their running backs. But Etienne and then Jonathan Brooks, it's unfortunate, you know, what they have going with him. But they do bring in Rico Dowdle, obviously on top of Chuba Hubbard, who's been fantastic. But Etienne brings a different level, that kind of, you know, what they don't have. He's a really good route runner. He checks every single box. He isn't great at anything. I mean, I think he's pretty damn good route runner. He's a pretty damn good pass protector as well. So he brings that to the table. But he's got some wiggle to him. He can run. He's just not an every down guy. It's perfect because they don't want to have one guy take the full load. They got a good group of 3 right there. And I love the Ransom and Cam Jackson picks, specifically because the Panthers at this point, man, they need a big body receiver. They got it. They need a pass rush. They got it. They need more help stopping the run. The pass rushers could help with that. They were horrendous stopping the run last year. Lathan Ransom, insane run-stopping safety. Where's his upside as a coverage guy? Not really there. He's incredible reading and stopping the run as a safety. He's, you know, could play almost like a linebacker if you want him to. Cam Jackson went down here because he's not really that much involved right now getting after the quarterback on passing downs. But this dude is a dominant, long, run-stopping nose tackle. Use them on running downs. That's what they'll do. So those are just fantastic, good value picks for what exactly they need. And then you get Mitchell Evans. I think that was a steal. The guy looked like a second-round pick in 2023. Looked more like a fourth-round pick in 2024 after injury. He could get back on track, look like that second-round pick. They get him in the 5th round. So fantastic. Jimmy Horn, explosive, always open, slot receiver to learn behind Adam Thielen. That's a really good pick right there. So it's not really a knock. The only thing, there's no like, whoa, A++ pick. There's a lot of like really good fits, really good needs, what they needed, you know, type picks. Panthers did a hell of a job. It's a top 5 winning draft class. The number 4 draft, in my opinion, and absolute big winners of the entire draft, the Los Angeles Chargers. I mean, for a playoff contending or maybe more of that, that type of team to come in and fill these massive needs, but get guys that are worthy of the pick and get these good of players it's pretty rare. That's kind of the thing with filling need or going for best player available. A lot of time you can't do both, and it felt like the Chargers were able to do both here, and it really boosted them. This is, I rank them number 4, but you could argue is my favorite draft. I mean, not the best in terms of, because I have a board before the draft and after, and we kind of match up in value here. So it might not be the most valuable draft. It's very valuable, and it's up there. Omarion Hampton, one of my favorite players in the draft. Running back from North Carolina, perfect for this offense. He is going to be a dog for years to come. He's probably going to even make the Broncos pay for passing on him and going to a division rival, playing him twice a year. Even if he splits this year with Najee, I think he'll do a little more than splitting, but he's going to be dominant for them. Teams are going to have to fear Omarion Hampton in the Chargers run game. They're going to actually have, the run game was good last year. Nobody was going in there going, we're scared of J.K. Dobbins. Like, we're really got to focus on this run game no over anything else. Didn't really happen, right? Even though it was good, Dobbins was awesome. This right here, the teams are going to be scared of this, okay? They're going to have to stack the box at times, which can open up the pass game. Trey Harris, I'm on record saying first-round talent if he didn't have the durability concerns. So he's a second-round guy. This is a perfect fit. Amazing landing spot for him. Amazing pickup for the Chargers. They have Ladd McConkey dominating the slot. They need an outside receiver, a guy that can make contested catches, a guy that's really good after the catch, a guy that can make big-time plays. Perfect for Justin Herbert. Trey Harris, if he's healthy, he's going to be even better in the NFL than he was in college, because in that Ole Miss offense, it's really simplified. They only have the receivers run a couple routes, but Harris is able to do a lot more in that. He's going to be a monster in that offense. So they needed a running back. They got a big one. They needed a big-time receiver. They got a big-time receiver. But, man, there's a massive hole on the interior defensive line, specifically to stop the run, most importantly. It is brutal. And are they going to be able to do that after they just filled their biggest need? Will they go get the best available player in that specific need in Jamari Caldwell from Oregon? He's lacking some length, but the guy can play. He has a high motor. See him read slip screens, like get on his horse and get out there and just go where the ball is going to be, but he stops the run at a very high level. You got 3 plug-and-play good players, plug-and-play starters at your biggest positions of need. Pretty rare. It's not that rare for shit teams. For teams that, you get anybody, it fills a need and he's a starter. Chargers has made the playoffs last year. It's a really talented team. This is pretty rare. Kyle Kennard, I like. He's super explosive off the ball. He looked like a first-round pick earlier in the year. He started losing, against more of the physical offensive tackles. They bullied him a little bit. So if he can add some strength, some power, watch out. A lot of upside here. Learn from Khalil Mack. Perfect situation. Keandre Lambert-Smith, another receiver option they needed. He looks the part. He can run routes. He can fly. He can make big-time plays. He dropped the ball a little bit too much for my liking. I shouldn't say it. The way I said it means I don't like him. But I like him. There's a lot to like. You just wish he could have caught the ball a little bit more consistently. If he can do that, he can be the third best receiver on the Chargers. So, and then Gadsden, who's kind of a tight end receiver hybrid, they could use either. He's gonna be a weapon for them. He's gonna be a weapon. Branson Taylor, right around where he should go. This is very quality tackle depth. R.J. Mickens. Now you have a steal right here. Before this, you have absolute fits, a lot of upside, instant upgrade. This draft makes the Chargers so much better, and they're already a playoff team. But R.J. Mickens, I think we'll see him play. He's perfect as like a split coverage safety in zone coverage. Chargers ran a lot of zone. He's a lot. They have Gilman and Derwin James. He's a lot different than Gilman, so you kind of can get a mixture of different styles there in that position. And then Bridges, kind of a flyer in round 7, but. Yeah, this draft is just a contending team getting a lot better and getting really good fits. They got extremely good players here. So, again, it's just kind of rare. It's kind of a rare sighting here with a playoff team getting that much better with needs and big-time players. So, they're a massive winner of the 2025 NFL Draft. Number 3 draft and massive winner, a draft winner, the New England Patriots with an absolute haul. And some people rank or grade drafts based off of how many. It's ridiculous. Like all the teams that got the most picks, they're at the top. Not me, but in this case, a team with a massive haul. also had a really good valuable. They had a lot of valued picks. They have a lot of big-time players here that made them better. So they come in as the third best draft in my opinion. Will Campbell, stud left tackle, exactly what they needed. Going to upgrade the pass game, going to upgrade the run game by his protection. That will upgrade Drake May, exactly what they needed. Travion Henderson, they still like Ramondre Stevenson. He's very solid as long as he takes care of the football. They need someone to pair him with. They got the complete opposite of Stevenson, which is perfect. An explosive home run hitting running back that can pass protect, that can catch the ball. I think we might see more Henderson than Stevenson, but they upgrade there. Kyle Williams, a steal in round 3, felt like a round 2 guy for me. Perfect pairing with Stephon Diggs. Can learn a lot from him, somewhat of a similar style receiver. Home run hitting guy for a home run hitting quarterback in Drake May. Perfect. Jared Wilson, known as the best center in the class. He felt like a second-round guy. They were starting to get some hype about him going late first. Obviously, that didn't happen, but they had the best center in the class right here. When the Patriots signed Garrett Bradbury a couple months ago, it was like, oh, they're going to run outside zone. They're going to run an outside zone scheme, which is, over the years, it's not really the Patriots thing, and it wasn't really McDaniel's thing, even though he's ran it. They ran a lot more inside zone and even some gap, but all right, cool. They're going to switch it up. They're going to run outside zone. They bring in Jared Wilson. With his athleticism, he's perfect for that style offense. Fastest, most athletic center maybe ever, right? Probably ever. So he could start right away and help them, but if he doesn't, he'll start year 2, and he'll be a starter for a long time, in my opinion. Craig Woodson, I thought he was the third-round pick. They get him in the 4th. This is a downhill thumping safety that's very athletic and sound in coverage. Joshua Farmer, one of the steals of the draft, at a second-round grade on him. I think he'll be better. I think it'll be easier for him in the NFL than it was in college. He was doubled a ton in college. You can't really do that if you have Barmore and Milt Williams next to him. A lot of upside there. Elite length. He's explosive, physical. Braden Swinson, steal as in terms of his pass rush ability. Just his pass rush ability. Early round 2 talent. Early round 2. Because he's not smart against the run, he doesn't set the edge too well. He drops a little bit. He won't be involved on running downs, but a lot of upside there if you work with him. He's a nasty pass rusher, can win in different ways. He's very athletic, very explosive, very long. Patriots don't need him to be an every down guy, drafting him here in the 5th round, the other options they have. So I think it's perfect. And then they upgrade on special teams, and Marcus Bryant could be a little bit of a sneaky one, but man, Patriots got a lot better. They got exactly what they need. They got great fits. They got good value. There's steals in there. I mean, you could talk about Williams being a steal, Woodson being a steal, but Farmer and Swinson are steals. They are steals. So there's a lot of everything in here for the New England Patriots, and it's why they are one of the winners of the 2025 NFL Draft. The second best team in the entire draft and a huge winner is going to be the Arizona Cardinals, who I did give an A+ to, only 2 A+. Insane draft for Arizona. The only knock is, the offensive line's still a little bit of a question, and surprised they didn't add a receiver. They need to get better there. But that's really not what it's about. It's just about getting appropriate value and getting good players, and they even fill needs while doing that. And Walter Nolan was my top defensive tackle in the class, a top 5 player in the draft. I think he's perfect for Jonathan Gannon's defense. He's going to be a massive disruptor. Him alone upgrades this defense so much. An incredible value pick, A+ pick, another A+ pick in the 2nd round. Will Johnson does apparently have some longevity concerns. It sounds like he's good to go today, though, so that makes me feel pretty comfortable, pretty confident, pretty optimistic. And that's a star corner if he's healthy. It's an elite instincts in zone coverage. The knock was, some injuries and doesn't play in man, I guess, all that great, but can do it. But Jonathan Gannon's a zone coverage type guy. This guy's he upgrades the corner position. I mean, the defense was starting to get really good at the end of last year. I thought it was mainly because of coaching. They had some games where they really impressed me down the stretch, and the offense was kind of letting them down. And I guess that's the knock. Is the offense still inconsistent? But man, they get A+ steal pick, 2 back-to-back steal A+ picks, and it upgrades their defense. And Jordan Burch, it's where he should go in the 3rd round, but they get a good player, and they have a collection of pass rushers, but what's something they don't have? They don't have that physical pass rusher that can set the edge, that can stop the run at the same time of bringing the bonus of getting after the quarterback. They didn't have that. Now they do with Jordan Burch. So something they didn't have, a guy that can make an impact right away. Cody Simon, it's right around where he should go, but their linebackers are, I almost feel like they have like Swiss Army knife type linebackers in a way, like guys that are more built to be outside off-ball linebackers. And then they don't really have that old school downhill gap filling linebacker that could blitz at a super high level. That's a bonus in Cody Simon. So it's something different that they don't have. They got it now. And then some really good corner depth in Denzel Burke. He struggled in man coverage this year, so that's why he, and Ohio State ran a lot more of it, so that's why he dropped down because of his play. But NFL, there's a lot more zone. Cardinals, Jonathan Gannon, they run a lot more zone. He's really solid in zone. He can press, not press man, but press zone. He gets downhill, he tackles. He's specifically really good in cover too. So some good depth. They needed some offensive line help, and they get Hayden Conner, who could compete to play right away. And Crawford's a pretty good value pick. I thought he could have went in round 5. He can play safety or in the slot box area. So some quality rotation option for them there. So, I mean, the top of the draft is obviously more important for every team. So that holds some weight here, and they get absolute steals, absolute instant impacts here. And the Cardinals defense might be nasty. It might be absolutely nasty. So this was a draft that they got better in. They found needs, perfect fits for Jonathan Gannon's defense, but they got absolute home run steals at the same time. So the number 2 draft for me. And the number 1 best draft ends up being the New York Football Giants. And we've seen them have past solid drafts with their current staff. Recently, they got to coach them up maybe a little bit better, even though a lot of guys have panned out and worked well. But, man, on paper, again, all my pre-draft stuff, my grades, my rankings, looking at that and looking at this draft, it's the best one. It is hands down the best one, but they get a lot of impact as well. Abdul Carter, there's only 3 elite prospects in the class, but there was 2 that were far and away the top 2 guys, and Abdul Carter was one of those guys. And they just created, or maybe not, we won't say it yet, but they're creating one of the very best defensive lines in football. Then you fast forward to the 3rd round, Darius Alexander, who could have went in the 2nd if he wasn't an older prospect, coming from and MAC football is legit these days, it feels like, though. I mean, they play some good football, but coming from playing weaker competition, if he wasn't an older prospect from that, he probably would have went in the 1st round. So they get a steal with Darius Alexander, so you combine Carter and Alexander with great value picks, big-time players, instant impacts. You combine that with Dexter Lawrence, with Brian Burns, with Kayvon Thibodeau. They added Roy Robertson and Harrison there, all the guys they have. This is a ridiculous defensive line. A defensive line that can win football games by themselves. They don't need a rest of the team to do it. Like, seriously, the way they can impact the game, they can do it. So you get great impact, you get great value, all of that. But then backtrack a little bit. Jackson Dart was actually my 2nd best quarterback in the class because of his upside. I said it over and over again, and I'm not one to say this a lot. I need him to sit. No matter what, even if he is your best quarterback, you sit in him. And I know the Giants and this coaching staff hasn't really worked well with quarterbacks recently, but he goes to a room with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, 2 really strong leaders full of a lot of knowledge, and they both bring kind of different things to the table. And he's going to sit. He's going to sit behind those guys, mainly Russell Wilson. And it's a great situation. It's a great situation for him. And the amount of work that they did on, and the Giants staff isn't one I don't want everybody. We don't fully want to trust them. We want to trust them. We can't fully trust them, but the amount of work they did on Shedeur Sanders, and then for them to say Dart's the guy, and he knocked the pre-draft process out of the park. They said that over and over again. It tells you something, right? It's got to mean something. You kind of got to trust that. Everyone's kind of got to trust that right there. So I think he's got a bright future. And I don't expect him to see him this year, and that's a win. That's a win. And they get Cam Scadaboo, everyone's favorite prospect, who was a 3rd-round player. They get him in the 4th round. This guy is a guaranteed impact. Guaranteed impact. He can run the football. He can, grind out those yards. He can make the big plays as well. He can catch the football down the field. I love Tyrone Tracy. I think Scadaboo is their best running back. I think they're going to see that too, and I think he's going to be a massive, massive impact here. He's one of those guys. Arizona State, everyone they played, everyone knew in crucial situations, short yard situations, that Scadaboo was getting the ball and they still couldn't stop him. So this is fantastic. Marcus Bowe could have been a 2nd-round pick, an absolute steal. And it helps the Giants, and it gives them options too, because they could use the right tackle of the future. Not necessarily right now. They have Illuminor for a short term. They could use an upgrade at right guard right now. They can use an upgrade at center right now. And Marcus Bowe played right tackle at a high level. There's some talk about him playing inside. Some even say center. He can fill that tackle, right guard, center, any of those, and those are all realistic options where they can get better. Boom. Thomas Fedone, I thought, could have been a 4th-round pick. They get him in the 7th. It was a team that people didn't really talk about, needed a tight end. And, I mean, you get an all-around tight end here. You get a guy that can block, he can catch, he's tough after the catch. I feel like his best football is ahead of him. I like the build that he has, but underrated blocker too. So, I mean, I could see this is a steal, and I could see him getting on the field. I mean, it's not I'm not necessarily saying it's my prediction, but I could see a scenario where this is like their number one tight end by the end of the year. I could see it. And then Corey Black, I mean, could have went earlier in this, and this is like a perfect example of a flyer. I think teams are too insisting on taking like textbook flyers, where it's like a guy that has something super flashy about him that just wasn't supposed to get drafted, but you take a flyer on him, right? Because there's something in there that you really like. But this is how flyers should be, because there's always guys that shouldn't be available. Like Corey Black could have easily went in the 5th or maybe 6th round, but he's got freaky athleticism and traits, and he was in a bad situation this year in Oklahoma State. So him being there, worthy of the pick, good value pick, but because of his upside, the freaky athletic traits he has, that's a true flyer to me. So that's a really good pick. I could see him getting on the field this year as well, but I'm more concerned about him I'm more thinking long term with him, I should say. So they created an elite defensive line. They got an elite player. They got the quarterback of the future, a high upside quarterback. I think a good situation to learn behind those quarterbacks. They got instant impacts everywhere, Scadaboo being another one. They got elite steal, like epic steals, Marcus Bowe being a big one there. I think the Giants had the best draft this year. This was just looking at, and I could argue it myself, who had the best draft according to value, because I got to go off my board pre-draft, and who had my favorite draft. I almost want to say the Chargers had my favorite draft, maybe, just because how rare an impact like team like that could get better like that. So this was fun. I thought there was 5 teams that really stood out, and these are the ones. And there's other good drafts. I love the Colts draft. They would probably be number 6, but I think there was 5 where sometimes you got to compare, like, ooh, which one's better? Like, these were the 5. Like, these were the 5. Like, those are the ones that are the best. Like, I think it's clear. I don't know. Even though there's other really good ones. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Everyone will have different opinions because they have different grades pre-draft, right? So let me know your favorite drafts, your best drafts in the comment section. Always fun to talk about it and see you guys debate these things. So let us know. That's going to do it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.